Bobby Moore and Sir Jeff Hurst, the Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds, Paolo Di Canio, West Ham United. We celebrate our victories, we stick together in defeat. I'm proud of our history, West Ham United, more than just a podcast, more than just a podcast.
Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning. This is More Than Just a Podcast. Season 13, episode 31, and the episodes keep on coming. Tonight, as usual, is Johnny Bucci. Where are you? What are you doing?
I'm at home talking to you, doing a podcast.
No Canning Town Len tonight. He's not feeling very well, but back by popular demand. He's not ill. He's not in Swansea. He's not in wherever he's been travelling. It's Shedman. Where are you? What are you doing?
Yakida. I'm in my shed.
Shedman, 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 Shedman.
There you go. George gets his full 5p then. Maybe we can get your daughter Rosanna to sing us a new jingle. Maybe you could have your own jingle, or I can have my own jingle. John.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. Anyway, welcome back, Nigel. Where you been?
Swansea and Hill.
That's abroad, isn't it? Swansea?
Swansea. Well, you have to cross
Wales.
a bridge.
Wow.
And the good thing is you don't have to pay anymore.
Really? I was going to say,
Yeah.
I thought you had to pay one way.
No. They used to have to pay to get in, but they let you out for nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how it used to be, yeah.
Yeah, but now,
they don't
no,
charge you.
free, mate. Just play across the bridge.
Anyway, it's not a Welsh podcast. It is a football podcast. We've got two games, football, to discuss tonight. We start with West Ham versus AFC Bournemouth, the Cherries. Take you back to last Thursday. Nigel and myself were there. Let's start with you, Nigel, since you
We're there.
were there. 1-1.
I know, mate. They wouldn't serve me 2-2 because the queue was so bloody long.
Did you? Oh, you got in late, did you?
No, the queue at half time at the pie mash. They said only 1-1. It was terrible.
Oh, okay. Got
At
you
the
now.
right hump.
I met up with Len. We nearly met up. We met with you before the Gram, but in the Ledger
Well,
building.
Len sat with me.
And Len went. It got to about because it was 7:30 kickoff. It got to about 7:10. And I go, shall we go? And he said, why? I said, kickoff's at 7:30. He went, we ain't missing much. He said, you don't really have to get for kickoff.
Yeah.
How did he enjoy it first, before you start on the football? How did he enjoy it? Because he's not a night game person, is he, Alan?
No, I did say to him, I'm glad you come because it means like you can come now for the Europe game. But then again, after the performance we put in, perhaps no. We had a good laugh sitting up there, so there weren't much else to talk
Well,
about.
exactly.
Really, was there?
Let's talk about the performance then.
Well, wasn't the best, was it?
It wasn't. Some called it the worst performance of the season.
Nah.
What was
Well,
it, harsh?
no, I'm sure we've had worse.
Ah.
But I mean, it was boring. And the game was boring. That's what it was.
And they were as
looked
bad
like-
as each other, weren't they? Because
Yeah,
just
yeah,
to
they
give you
weren't
an early
much.
stat attack. West Ham had 49%, meaning they only had 51. Both sides had 9 shots. West Ham had 3 shots on target. Bournemouth had 4 shots on target. West Ham had 1 corner to 5 corners for Bournemouth. 13 fouls by West Ham. Dirty West Ham. 11 by Bournemouth. It wasn't one of the great Moyes masterclasses, was it?
No, it wasn't a great Moyes masterclass. It wasn't great by any stretch of any imagination. There seemed to be a lack of urgency. We seemed to play like strangers. I think Moyes come out and said something about us. You know, I think we'd had one game in 3 weeks. Is it something like that? One game in 4 weeks because of the winter break and the self-inflicted cup break. I suppose we're grateful for the point. I've not seen a replay of the penalty. It looked one of them that was 50-50, but it was up the other end. It was in front of the Bobby Moore stand, and
you're talking about the Ward-Prowse penalty on 61.
Yeah. Well, the foul was on Kudus, was it not?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. I mean,
it looked a penalty. I mean,
the start
I guess
was
my first question. 3 minutes in, they score.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's given us offside. Goes to VAR. So VAR proved overall 2 decisions now, the 2 flashpoints of the game.
Was it given offside? Was it
Flashpoint.
Flashpoints.
I didn't see it get given offside.
So I thought
It
you
was
were
given offside.
I thought you were you late then to the game?
No, we were up there.
No, it was given offside, and
right.
we celebrated with the away fans as sort of going, it's been ruled offside. Then it went to VAR.
Oh yes, that is right. That is right.
It came off Phillips. Came off Phillips.
Took a couple of because it was the Phillips
But
back pass. But you could, and that's the thing that was strange. Is obviously it was a Phillips back pass.
Do you think he was passing to the light blue, thinking he was passing to his Man City?
No, I just think he got put
First
under
touch, First
bad
touch.
pressure. He got.
It was a shit pass from Zuma,
Yeah.
and he just hit it with his.
That was Phillips' first touch in a West Ham shirt.
Yeah, well,
But
it could only get better then, couldn't it? I mean, but he's a player that hasn't really played many minutes, and I was surprised. I was talking to my uncle before the game, and and he said, "Oh, Phillips will start," and I mean, he ain't gonna start him. Moyes don't start players like that. He's got, he'll get half hour or he'll get something like that. He won't throw him in because he ain't played. Goes and throws him in, doesn't he?
Because who was missing?
Well, obviously there was no Paquetá, but he who did he put back on the bench?
There was someone else missing that we weren't expecting. Hang on, I've got the.
Get the team up.
I'll get the team up now. So, Areola, Johnson, Mavropanos, Zuma, Emerson, Phillips, Souček, Alvarez in the middle, Kudus, Ward-Prowse, and Bowen up front.
Who were you expecting?
I don't know. Actually, now you think about it,
I'd say I don't know.
Maybe the surprise was Bowen playing. Actually, now to think of it, because we thought Bowen might still be out. And then obviously Ings came on 68 for Phillips, and Cornet came on 96 for Kudus.
Yes.
Can't believe he didn't do anything.
It's good to see him have a run out.
Yeah, how long for?
Well, I mean, the two in a game like that, I don't know. I don't like 5 subs. I must admit, I don't like it because, to be honest, it's only a benefit for the big boys who can afford to sit players like Calvin Phillips on their bench, and they've got players like Calvin Phillips that are happy to sit on their bench and come on and do a bit part. Now, West Ham ain't got that luxury. We ain't got players that was good as the first team players.
We ain't got hardly any players.
Yeah. Well, not now.
Well, we have 4.
I don't get, and this is where I don't get when people complain about we don't use our strength off the bench, because I look at it and think, what strength on the bench?
Well, it was the strength off the bench that 18 months ago was winning us games in Europe, and
18 months ago, but we've moved forward 18 months. John.
Yeah, he's sat them on the bench since then and pissed them all off.
Well,
so they've all fucked off, haven't they? They've all just gone.
But I would argue, realistically, if you look at the performances, now people that don't like Moyes will point a finger and go, Moyes has done this to them. But the players have done themselves no favours when they've come on the pitch. Let's face it, Ben Rama has not really pulled up trees.
Oh yeah, Ben Rama from the day one for me, but like the likes of Fornals was.
Oh, that's
it was always
energetic.
It was always. Yeah, it was always.
With the odd goal.
We're going to talk about that later, right? Save that transfer talk to a bit later.
There's that. So when people complain about what we got coming off the bench, I don't get the fan loving with Cornet, because I didn't see what he really did at Burnley. and he's sort of replicated that when he's come here. He ain't really. And people go,
He
he
started
ain't
all
been given a
right.
chance.
He started all right, got injured.
Well, we
he
had
started-
3 or 4 games before he got injured.
Yeah, he
Four
started
kids-
all right.
4 kids on the best: Casey, Mabama, Skulls,
Yeah.
and Orford.
I mean, the funny
on
thing
the
is, the
bench.
best kid out of the lot, he's probably sent on loan to Callum Marshall. He's probably
Callum
sent
Marshall
on loan
gone to
West Brom.
Baggies. Yeah,
I think Marshall will overtake
he
Mabama.
signed and he
I
will.
like Skulls. I think he's really good, Skulls.
I don't think they're going to get a chance. By the way, you were talking about only the big boys benefiting, but a lot of the teams that play us do use all their subs. So Bournemouth used 4, by the way, to our 2.
Yeah.
I mean, not that
But
they
hold up,
deserved to
Sean.
win it.
The result still was the same.
It
yeah?
was, and
Yeah,
I
the
don't
result
know.
was the same. They look like at times they look like Brazil the way they were passing and moving.
If I'm being honest, Bournemouth probably felt more hard done by, and we got a bit more lucky with that draw again. Areola made some really good saves.
Yes.
Probably the man of the match again.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
The mad thing about it is that Danny Ings had just had his best game for West Ham against
Yeah.
Sheffield United. And
he didn't do a lot when he came on. I know he came on at 68.
no, but it's you know,
he had a
give him-
good 30 minutes with.
give him a
added
run
time.
out from the start. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Well, if he had got a good performance out of him, playing him somewhere somehow in some system, then try it again maybe. Who knows?
So, which one are you? Half glass full or half glass empty? No win in 2004, 2024, or unbeaten in 2024. Which one are you, Nigel?
well,
We
have been
just
beaten,
lost at the
haven't we?
weekend, didn't we?
So
Well, up to that, and we're talking about this game.
no, look, at home, a point against Bournemouth can only be classed as a disappointment,
Yeah.
and that's
Because
the
that's
only
how
way it can be
that's
classed.
how West Ham media were talking about it, unbeaten in 2024 after
Well,
that
yeah,
game.
but and this is the thing. The thing is, we criticise West Ham media for a lot of things,
Yeah.
but in-house media, that's their job. You know, their
Yeah, of
job
course, to
is
pick it up. Yeah.
to paint to paint a picture. They're not going to come in and ask difficult questions and whatever. They don't have to be as sycophantic as the Spurs fan is, which, you know, I think some far he goes a bit, you know, over the top with he puts you to shame at times, Sean, with
Who?
his brand nosing, the Tottenham fan. So, but you know,
Okay.
it's
Well, but it's point. A point. We did we did expect to do better, but you know.
Do you know
we're-
what it does? A
on.
performance like that only adds fuel to the fire for those that desperately want Moyes sacked.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that later. Don't you worry,
Hmm.
John. I think you didn't watch
Hello.
the game, if I remember.
I did watch the game.
Oh, you
but,
did
yeah.
watch the game. What have you got anything to add? Why did
No,
you?
no, it
I
wasn't-
know
it
you don't
wasn't.
like a bit like Len. You don't like the evening game. Well, not you like the transport is a nightmare from where you live in the Outer Hebrides.
Well, yeah, to some degree.
You've got to have a lot of motivation.
Well, yeah, I do have a lot. And I do.
Oh, you
need
don't have a lot at the
motivation.
moment, do you?
No,
Have you got
not
anything to
really.
add about the?
No, it wasn't.
game?
It wasn't. It was a horrible watch.
Did you
boring.
watch the end, or
It
did
was
you
a
walk
boring
out the
game.
living room in disgust?
No, I watched it to the end. I had it on anyway. But you just, it's like I end up watching games like that. Like you watch games in the ground, Sean. I end
your
up
phone?
spending the
Oh,
I spend last half hour of games on my phone, and
Yeah.
it's not great, is it? It's
You
not
mean
fun.
last half hour? Oh,
Yeah.
spend the whole game. No.
Well,
I
yeah, I know
watched
you
it.
do. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, no, it was. There was nothing more to add.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the Red Devils, Old Trafford. Let's start by saying David Moyes has never won a game at Old Trafford since he's left as manager, or that's what the stat says.
Has he before then? If he with Everton?
I don't know, but that's the stat people say, and I'm not. I don't know whether he beat them at Everton, but one would think
I did,
if they
did
mentioned
tweet that. I did tweet. I was looking
Um,
forward to the people that come up with that stat.
But
He never-
probably they did check. Maybe he did win as an Everton manager.
Did-
I don't
did-
know.
It's like he's not beating a top 6 team away
I
from
don't
home, is he,
think
or
he
something
has.
like that?
So, we probably weren't expecting a lot. In some ways, we're probably not expecting a lot this weekend on Sunday when we play Arsenal. But because you still remember it's Man United, right? They've still got great resources. They've still got some really expensive players. And when they click, they click. And as I was talking to Mark Saggers on Talk TV last night, he came on, he came on and said, "Oh, West Ham didn't turn up." And I said, "Well, actually, you're completely wrong. Well, you obviously didn't watch the game
You're
because
completely wrong.
they
Saggers.
did turn up. It was one of the best performances of the season. And what we didn't do is we didn't take our chances, and at least two of the goals went against the run of play. And Man United were doing their classic. They were utilising our tactic, which is the counter-attacking football and getting us on the break, and they were just more clinical. And the result, the scoreline of 3-0, didn't really. If you just look at the highlights, you'd say, well, West Ham were battered, but we weren't battered. Let's start with you, John, on this one.
Okay.
Do you agree with me?
I know it was we had spells of possession. We looked better, but we still lost. I missed the first half hour, didn't I? I was out for dinner.
Oh yeah, you did. Say
And that's another for me. That's another side of me. I've just like losing the wheel.
nice
It was very nice. I've just put the telly on in the back. It was silent to watch the Brentford City game. And Mikel Antonio's the guest tonight. Did you know that?
Is he?
Scraping the barrel again then.
He's looking very smart, very dapper with a nice hat on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I thought Colton Cole was a bad pundit. Then I watched Mikel Antonio.
I might rewind it afterwards. You'd like to see what he's got to say.
But
yeah, I didn't see it all.
Performance. I mean, some people again have used it to jump on the Moyes ball wagon and.
I just find that's all just tedious. All that Twitter stuff of this is what you get when you try and play better football, but we've got better football, but you lost and it's just I told you so. It's just who really cares? Who really cares?
But do you see that we were? I mean, the stats were we're more likely to score a goal. We just, I mean,
more likely to everything.
You've got the Moyes. You've got the Bowen. That he would have scored them. He maybe took one touch too many, and it was a good block.
Look, Sean, I look at it.
You got the penalty shout on Alvarez, where
I was surprised. Nothing was said about that at all at any point.
No,
I'll tell you, there was another one to that,
Go
which I saw, and it was a bit much ado about nothing in a way, but it was Hoyland on Zuma, and he flicks Zuma in the face. He sort of donks him on the nose, and obviously made Zuma's eyes water. And it was when Zuma went down, and you look at it, and it's a bit. It ain't really, when you think, I don't know, it's soft, but he's literally just donked him on the nose for no reason. So is that not a foul then?
It is,
absolutely.
And when you look at it and you think, hang on a minute, I know Zuma's, I don't know if he made a meal of it, because I think they can make your eyes water. He literally deliberately backhand. It wasn't a punch, it was like a backhand on the nose.
Big club bias. You're not going to get anything at Old Trafford, Let me do a quick stat attack. We'll go back to you, John. 51% for the Red Devils, 49% for the Hammers. So, pretty even on possession. Here's a big one. Man United, 12 shots, 5 on target. West Ham United, 22 shots, 3 on target. We had 8 corners, they had 5. They fouled 10 times. Dirty Manchester United.
How many yellow cards for Man United, 5.
Sean? Let me just check.
I'll tell you, none. 10 fouls. No yellow cards.
Right.
How many yellow cards for West Ham? We've had 5 fouls.
1. Yeah.
What does that tell you?
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
Andy Madley. They don't like to give you.
Have a look at how many crosses West Ham put in the box.
I don't know. You're going to tell me?
I think it's like 25 or 26.
It was a lot, wasn't it? And we just
compared to Man United's like 8.
Yeah, it just wasn't happening.
So we had, was it 20? Did you say 22 shots on target? 22 shots.
22 shots. 3 on target.
What do you reckon? 20 of those were Emerson.
Well,
No,
he's
I
been a
think
bit
they'll-
disingenuous, John, because while it was 3 on target, that didn't mean 19 were off. What that meant was 10 were off target and the other 12 were blocked.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
okay.
true. That's true.
Now, the thing about blocks are they could be on target,
Yeah.
but they were blocked.
Uh,
So
I mean, Emerson had 2 or 3 good opportunities, didn't he? And then
Yeah.
Yeah, Emerson
obviously
should have
Bowen,
scored.
Bowen got through, just
Bowen and Emerson should have scored.
delayed his shot.
Yeah, and then look, they did well, and look, Manchester United turned up for that game, and we didn't. You know, Casemiro got one,
I don't
Fernandes
know,
got one,
Sean.
McTominay got one
So
late.
we don't, I mean, Sean,
84.
I don't, how we say we didn't turn up. You just told us
did.
it was one of the best
Sorry.
performances of the season.
Sorry, no, sorry, that's untrue. I used the wrong terminology. They turned up. We just didn't. At the final ball let us down. Let's just say that.
Do you know what I think the difference is, Sean?
Go
Actually,
on.
I think
Having
the
a striker?
difference is, yeah. If you no, but I think the difference is if you look at their front three, Hoyland, Garnacho, Rashford. You know, the three of them. Hoyland's up and running now. He's a fantastic striker. I think they got him from Ajax, didn't they? Bang loads of goals, and he's a star of the future. Garnacho, they've had for a year, has now really found his feet in the Premier League. You know, he's going to be a big star, Garnacho. For
He come out of the
Argentina.
academy, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he did come out of
He
Man
won the
United's
youth
academy.
cup with them.
Oh, did he? Yeah, but they
Yeah.
might have bought him in.
Yeah, I'm
think.
sure they brought him in, but I think he's been there, come through their
So,
system as such.
Right, so he's probably been there a couple of years. He's only 19,
Yeah,
and it was Oyland's 21st birthday. And then you had Rashford, and we all know what he can do. And as he banged one in the other night against Wolves. See, so, and therein lies the difference, though. But the bad thing is you look at it, Kudus has got, in all comps, 10 goals this season, and Bowen's got 14.
Yeah.
So-
Kudus is not. I mean, after the game, he said, you know, that the African Nation Cup took a lot out of Kudus and Agerd, and it was having its effect as one of the excuses. He also talked about Areola, because we didn't mention, but Areola got
Concussion, wasn't it?
yeah, he got taken. I don't know. He didn't say concussion because
he got a knee on there. It was our player when he done him, though.
Yeah,
wasn't
so-
it?
it was. They can't say if they say concussion, then concussion protocols would be in effect, and you're not allowed to use him on Sunday. So they just said he had a knock, and they took him off as a precaution.
The funny thing about that, in a way, though, is that I think Areola dithered when coming out, and that's why Zuma took control and cleared the ball. But obviously Zuma was late. Not Zuma, Areola was late, and that's why he got clattered by Zuma.
Yeah, I
because
don't
he
think you
didn't-
can blame Fabianski for the.
No, it was a bit flat-footed for one of them, but it's hard when you come on at half-time into a game like that and you're 1 down already.
Yeah,
But you could argue that the other 2 games, it was almost like Man United played like West Ham, caught us on the sucker punch, broke fast, and when they got the calibre of players up front to do that, it's disappointing we didn't score against Man United because their defence is shocking
Yeah.
at the moment. And they brought Harry Maguire in. And
Well, I was gonna say-
he put
Gifted.
Emerson through, didn't he?
Yeah, he gifted.
I was going to say
you know?
he started, didn't he?
I
Yeah.
do find it. I mean, we were having some kind of debate about it all, but I do find it frustrating these last few years where at Man United are nowhere near the team or the force they were. Liverpool has been so inconsistent and all that, and we just don't threaten them. When you see that, it's just so frustrating. And you think they're not that great. If you go at them, if you were good enough, you could do them.
Yeah, I mean, 40 days ago, we actually did outplay them at the
Yeah.
London Stadium.
But yeah, but then take it away from home. It's just.
Shout. So
John, we've never been good. You know, as I pointed out in the thing, people,
No.
people like
I-
Sean can throw these stats up, yeah, that he loves to put out about Moyes has never won at Old Trafford.
last
well-
time West Ham won at Old Trafford.
2007.
But that kind of is again is my argument is that they're not
Yeah.
the Man United of 2007
Yeah.
or 2004 or whatever it was. They're not the Ferguson era Man United.
No.
They've been shit for the last 10 years.
I think we've only won there 3 or 4 times in the Premier League.
Did Bilic win there?
No.
Because he had a little run, didn't he? He beat Arsenal away.
He
and
beat
then
Arsenal
Liverpool
away, we beat City away, and we beat Liverpool
away, yeah.
But we didn't beat Man United away. 2007, Tevez was the last time we won. I was there when Defoe scored, and we won 1-0 with
League
an header.
Cup, 2021.
Well,
Yeah,
League
no,
Cup.
we-
I'm talking
let's
about Premier
talk
League.
about Premier
Sean,
League.
In the
Right,
league.
Premier League. What did you say?
2007.
2009. No, that was at home. You might be right. Let me go up. West Ham.
Sean, I know I'm right.
Well, have you checked?
Fucking. All right, go on, check then.
13th of May 2007.
It's all in the Stato brain, isn't it? It's there.
Who was the scorer for a bonus
Tevez.
point? Yeah, 45 minutes, Tevez.
And the time before that, I believe, was 2002, and it was Jermaine Defoe got an header at the back post, either 01 or 02.
Oh no, it was 01.
But I just like.
8th of December 2001.
Yeah, right, that's it. Yeah, so it was Defoe,
I sort
under
of
road.
you look
And
at
it was
it.
Defoe, 64 minutes. You're
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
But you look at I look at it where you see like we go there so often, no matter who we've been under in a few years as managers, and we go there sort of half defeated anyway because you're going to the mighty Man United, and then you see like a Brighton go there who just win 4-0,
Yeah.
and you think it's so frustrating. They're not good football teams at the moment. Really, City's the only team that's dominated the last few years. We should be able to break down these records of we never win these places. We should be able to win there.
And I'm not being defeatist when I do think, but and perhaps I'm too easy to accept it. But as a rule, I do accept we're going to go to Old Trafford and we're probably going to get beat. We're
Yeah.
going to
I
we're going to go to Anfield. We're probably going to get beat.
100%. When you do see that stat that David Moyes has never beaten any of these teams.
Well, he
away
has
from
now,
home.
hasn't he? He has, though, hasn't he?
Well, he already did Chelsea, wasn't it?
Well, and Arsenal.
Away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so this is the thing. It's it's like the old stat that got trotted out. Sean, I think, threw it in a WhatsApp group. I don't know if he tweeted it out or not, about David Moyes now being like the record holder for the most defeats in the
I
Premier
think that
League.
was me. Found
No,
that
it
one.
wasn't me.
That was
Not
me.
me.
Found that one.
That was
But
John.
of course, what they failed to realise is he's managed a third amount of games. He's third on the all-time list for the amount of games managed, and he's also third on the list for the amount of games won.
Wait, I'm pro Moyes, remember? I'm not.
Yeah, but you still like to stir the pot, Sean. You are the
you
biggest
do
shit
like to.
stirrer going.
But you do like to join in as well, Nigel.
We'll talk about the poll later.
You do like to just
and I was asked to
dig
poll.
and pick and
No,
poke.
I
Yes, you do.
just like to point out to people some funny things. I mean, it is true what I said. West Ham did give the fans, right, because there are certain sections, and I did see it on Twitter after the Bournemouth game, that they'd rather play well and lose, than play like they did at Bournemouth.
Yeah, that's right.
Part of me, I think, well, I can sort of understand that, but well, there you go then, isn't it? You've got your wish. So let's not hear you moaning about the Man United.
I would say we had a decent game. I wouldn't say we played well.
But I think we played well. It was if you have a decent game, you played well. Now, the thing about that, Mr. Moyes, is you've shown us that you can set a team up, because it was like I was trying to work out, was it 5 at the back? Was it 4 at the back?
Where
was Ben Johnson playing?
It's about. I think you find it's five central defensive midfielders, 8 defenders.
Well, it weren't, was it? No,
Is
it
it not?
weren't.
No.
It weren't, and you know
You didn't
that.
even watch the first half.
Yeah. But if ever a player's played himself a new contract, fucking sign up Ben Johnson,
Yeah.
because
fair play.
he's
had a few good games, and
and he was sort
Let's,
of in the middle, was he? I don't know it, because when I see the lineup, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, Ben Johnson and Kufal, who's he playing? Oh, he's got Emerson there as well. Oh, he's got Aged and Zuma. Is he playing 5 at the back? it's like I was half expecting Kufal to be a centre half, but then no, Ben Johnson was in the middle.
Yeah, I
But
can't quite work it out.
yeah, but it worked.
Then
So you think, well, let's see that against Arsenal then.
Yeah, well, let's see who turns up against Arsenal. Let's talk injury news. Paquetá, big miss for me.
No Paquetá, no party.
Yeah, exactly. So
Is it like that? Do you think?
I
Is
do.
Paquetá the new Payet? When
Yeah, he
Payet
is.
disappeared, we drew
I
7
think
games on the trot.
Yeah, I absolutely think it is.
If it's looking a little bit like that, and if that is true, it's not very optimistic for when he goes in the summer. Or you know,
He won't, no, because I'm by any other standards, I don't think this FA investigation will be finished by the summer. But
I
that's
think they'll
another
buy him
story.
no matter what, Sean.
That you think they're fine him?
No, I think they'll buy him. I think City will. But
Oh,
City
I don't
won't.
think so.
Right,
No.
City. I don't think City will just wait and think, oh, we can't buy him just in case.
No,
think they'll go,
I
"No,
don't
fuck
think
it,
until the
we'll have him."
investigation's finished. Let's talk about Paquetá. So, sources close to the player, an agent, said he's out to 4 to 5 weeks. And that was last week, so make that 3 to 4 weeks. Interesting, post-match, for the last few weeks, Moyes would say, don't know about Paquetá, can't give anything, can't give you any update. Yesterday after the match, suddenly he goes, he's 1 to 2 weeks away. The only problem is, I don't never trust David Moyes and what he says in the press conference. He just almost says the exact opposite. He's usually pessimistic, right? So he'll usually be on the safe side. If he says he's 1 to 2 weeks away, he could be a lot closer than we first thought.
well, he's not usually very inspiring, is he? When you hear his press conferences before games.
He also said Antonio's back running on grass, but you've just heard he's actually doing his gig tonight on.
Well, he wouldn't be out
TV.
running on grass tonight, Sean, would he?
No, but I don't know how far away you are when you're running back on grass. Anyway, those are the two, particularly Paquetá, and maybe Antonio gives us another option to come on as a sort of sub, a super sub, because we've got no one on the bench except for Cornet at the moment. If we move to the transfer window, because we haven't spoken until the transfer window shut. So
Bournemouth was the end of the transfer window, wasn't it?
It was. So obviously some fun and games there. So outbound, obviously 3 players who didn't want to play for us. Chiera went to Monaco. They paid £428,000 loan fee with a 9.4 million one option to buy. Fornals was sold in the end to Pellegrini. To Real Betis for £6.84 million on a permanent basis. Said Benrahma was sold to Lyon on loan with a £5.1 million loan fee and a £12.3 million option to buy with a 10% sell-on clause as released as official statement by Lyon. So that brings us to £12.4 million in loan fees or up front and another 21.7 options to buy. Obviously, the big story of the day was didn't he? Andy Pincher. Obviously, Leon came out with a very strongly worded statement calling us lacking respect and charlatans and everything else because we hadn't processed the TMS system, the transfer matching system of FIFA. When you transfer someone abroad, the transfer matching system, which is basically a website, you put in the player's details, the other club, and if they match, the registration transfers. Now, it's just a website. Now, my theory is that Andy Pinch was probably trying to use the London Stadium Wi-Fi during the game against Bournemouth, and he just couldn't get a signal. But I don't know. Do you know, Nigel? Do you know what happened? Because the senior source seemed to be a little bit ambiguous what happened. He didn't understand what the technical problem was. He blamed
oblivious.
Oblivious, that's it.
Yeah.
He blamed the FA, which I thought, hang on a minute, I'm not sure the FA is involved. I'm sure it's FIFA. Do you know anything, Nigel?
Or was it not a internet problem? Did someone not unplug the wrong lead?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
I'm asking you. Do you know?
Well, Sean, you know me. If I did, I wouldn't frigging tell you
Yeah,
anyway.
I know. I'm just seeing if I can get it out of you. Do you know though?
Anyway, move on.
Oh, you do
Anywho.
know. You do know. Anywho, you do know. Obviously.
Well, whatever it was an absolute embarrassment for the football
Well,
club.
was it? If it was a FIFA problem, is it our problem? But as lots of people say, why is it always West Ham? I mean, at least Real Betis were a little bit more understanding. I'm sure it will get sorted out, and it was. FIFA gave special permission for those transfers to go through. They're no longer. Pablo Fornals with a brilliant goodbye, exactly the way. I mean, this is how Declan Rice should have done it. Great video, great penning a great message from the heart. Everybody went, Pablo Fornals, we love you. Seb Bearama, 0. There he is, walking around with tops before he's even signed, with Leon, doing video straight away, no message to fans at all. A tale of two different players.
I think the big story should come out of that all should be about that mess up on the evening, which is an embarrassment to the football club. But the one thing that everyone seems to have forgotten...
Is it though? Yeah, John.
Is it?
Yeah,
I don't think it is, John. I think...
What happens if it was FIFA?
I think it's embarrassing. I mean, when you see all the press everywhere saying, like, West Ham messed up with the internet.
But did they, though?
Why did FIFA allow it through the next day?
Yeah,
both of them.
It's FIFA's problem.
I think.
Well,
yeah,
it's because they messed up.
What, FIFA?
No, because our lot messed up and they've said, yeah, all right.
To be fair, Sean, West Ham do have a lot of interns, though, don't they?
Yeah, true. But you know what? Everything I hear about Andy Pincher, who's our club secretary, is the bloke who does it. He's a very due diligent guy, and he's a very exact guy. He's not prone to making mistakes.
What did you call him?
What did I call him?
Yeah.
What?
I thought you called him something then.
What did I call him? You tell me. Repeat it.
Tell you. I couldn't repeat it. I didn't want to upset our Gaza friends. Go on.
But the other part of the story is the financial loss on all these players again.
Well, you say that though, John.
Oh, okay.
But from a financial point of view, Pablo Fornals is written down, right? Because you write down on your accounts over the contract. His original.
So we signed for Pablo Fornals 4 years ago for 28 million, was it?
24, yeah.
24 million.
So that's written down, split over 4 years and written down. So he only had 6 months on his original contract. You write it down over the contract. So we sold him for more than that was on the books, basically.
Yeah, Sean, stop this creative.
No, that's the way finance works.
No.
Right?
Yeah, but
From
I don't
an
care.
asset point of
Sean,
view, writing down
listen,
an asset.
This ain't the price of football. We're not Kieran Maguire, and we ain't running a spreadsheet, yeah? We paid 28 million for him, and we flogged him, a Premier League stalwart, for 6 million quid.
7. Close to 7.
7. Ain't a great...
Ben Rama, what do we pay for Ben Rama?
Ben Rama, we paid, I think, 19 million, if you include the loan fee.
What loan fee?
Well, we had to loan him.
We
loaned
loaned
that
him
illness.
We loaned him for the first year, and we paid about 5
6
million.
Oh, did we loaned him from Brentford?
We
Don't
did.
you remember?
Yeah.
It was deadline day, and he failed the fitness. Can we say he failed the fitness test because he had a blood disorder.
Yeah.
So we said, to tell you what we'll do further investigations.
I thought you weren't. You don't talk about these things.
Well, he's left now, hasn't he? He's left the club, so now I can.
Yeah.
So he failed it because there was like a disorder in his blood. But rather than welch on the deal, we coughed up, did a deal with Brentford.
4 million for a loan
so
fee
we'll
and 15
cough you up.
in the summer. So
everything works out. Sean, I think we signed him in the January.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So we did the deal in the January.
So
we were happy.
It always felt to me that Moyes never liked him. So we had him on loan and then still signed him, and Moyes never really liked him.
If he's sold, right, we're going to get 17.5 back on a 19. So we lost $1.5 million in 2 years. That's not bad.
Kira.
And 10% sell-on fee. Well, Kira's even better, right? Because actually we get our full money back. So Kira costs £10 million. We're getting a almost 500 grand loan fee and a 9.5 grand option to buy. So if they exercise that option to buy, we get our money back on Kira.
I mean,
we've seen worse, John. Right? Don't get me wrong. We're losing, particularly on Fornals.
Yeah, but hold on. The only thing I'd say about Fornals is that one, we got great service out of him. So if you do split his money up over the time that he's been here, 4 years, it ain't too bad. And B, that's what happens.
He's 4 years old
when you allow players to run their contract down. You are going to get like half or more or less than half to what their actual value is. Fornals is a 15 to 20 million pound player all day long.
Yeah.
If sold to another Premier League club. But we didn't.
But we agreed he could go back to Spain.
Yeah.
He signed that 1 year extension.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd have got nothing
That's
for
right,
him.
yeah. So he done us a
Get little
favour
bit of
there.
money. So he did, and he was really disappointed. You could see him in the tunnel when he thought it'd fallen through.
And it's good for him. He speaks the language, doesn't he? So
Yeah, well, we saved 200 grand a week, right? That would come off the wage bill. Now you could say it goes straight to Phillips, but Kira was on a.
Well, that's been good signing.
Kara was on 80 grand a week. Pablo Fornals was on
100 grand a goal at the moment.
a week. And Ben Rama was on 55 grand a week. So you've got 200 grand a week coming off the wage bill. Now, Calvin Phillips.
Somebody says that somebody out there saying he's 500 grand a week for Phillips, isn't it?
Well, that's
like
that's Nick. Don't believe Nick, right? Let me tell you the financials of Calvin Phillips.
Don't Nick get a lot of his stuff from you, though, Sean?
No, he does not.
Oh, does he not?
No.
Oh, right.
He talks to me occasionally. I talk to him tonight, but he just tries to wind
There
me
you
up
go.
about his neck.
Every
Yeah,
time
but
speak
I
to you,
just
you
have
go,
to put him
spoke to
right
Nick.
sometimes. Yeah,
Oh, right.
he was trying to wind me up about.
I don't know why, Sean. He don't believe you anyway.
I know he does.
Have you
That was
picked your
fun.
charity, Sean?
I think I'll give it to the Alzheimer's.
National Autistic Society.
Both my grandmothers suffered from Alzheimer's and died of Alzheimer's, so I'll give it to the Alzheimer's Association Society. Calvin Phillips is on a basic of 135 grand a week, right? And we agreed that's £3 million for the next 22 weeks. If you talk to Nick, he goes, "Oh, it's only to the end of May. You only can count to May." No, any loan fee you pay to the end of June, right? If you're talking weekly, you can't just go, "Well, then we're not playing after May." Well, tough luck. You're still paying. You can't just count to when we stop playing, right? You pay him to the end of June. So 135 grand a week, £3 million. We are definitely paying Man City. Now, the interesting thing is, on top of the 3 million, there's another 2 to 4 million on performance-based bonuses that go to City and to Calvin Phillips. Some of them are appearance bonuses. Some of them are win bonuses and positional bonuses and qualifying for Europe. And both City and Calvin Phillips benefit for them. So we are definitely paying 3 million, right? If Calvin Phillips sits on the bench and doesn't play, we might only have to pay the 3 million, right? But the likelihood is it will be somewhere between 2 and 4 million. So it will either cost us 5 million or at worst 7 million. What a lot of people, 7 million is a figure a lot of people have quoted, but that includes the wages. A lot of people have tried to take the 7 million, add on 3 million wages and divide it by the number of weeks left to the end of the season, and you get to 500 grand a week. So that's how Nick has come up with this 500 grand a week, John. So don't believe it. It's not true. We've only agreed to pay his full wages at minimum. The rest is performance related.
How many weeks do we reckon it's going to take him to get up to speed, though?
Well, that's it. I mean, David Moyes did say after
3
the
to 4.
game, he's a bit rusty and he needs to get up to speed. Which
He is a bit
Moyes.
rusty.
Typical Moyes. I mean,
Yeah, but he is right though, Sean. Look at him. He is rusty.
He is
well,
rusty.
why did he play him 17 minutes against Bournemouth and bring him on for what? How many minutes was he brought on?
Do you know what I'm wondering? If he looked at it and thought, do you know what? Against Bournemouth, he might have an easier game than he would do against Man United. Now, bad play by him has directly led to 2 goals. But when you analyse, both times you got shortchanged by the bad passes to him. Now, the funny thing about it is that at Man City, he's playing with some of the best players in the world in their positions and who very rarely give a bad pass away. Well, unfortunately, Calv, you're back at West Ham, mate. And, you know, you ain't going to get the ball where you want it.
I hope he turns into having a sort of Lingard situation and not a... You know, and not a, I don't know. I'm trying to think who we bought on loan and just didn't work. And we've had so many of them. It's hard to say.
It is a bit of a strange signing, isn't it? Really.
It is. I mean, we tried.
Honestly, didn't really need
we
him,
tried 20 names. We tried, but the Moyes and Steiden wanted quality. Don't believe this bullshit that Steiden offered 20 left-back players and they're all turned down by Moyes. These are people with agendas. We were tracking 20 players.
You ain't got an agenda then?
No, I haven't got an agenda.
Oh, okay. No.
I haven't got agenda.
Just ask
I'm a
questions.
messenger and I tell it like it is.
just
Do
ask
some of the
questions.
people who give me messages try and manipulate? Yes, they do, but it's not an agenda, right?
Well, then they're using you as part of their agenda.
Yeah, possibly.
Do you not understand that
I'm just
bit?
a messenger, John. I'm just
Yeah,
a
but
messenger.
what does that make you, Sean?
Yeah, but you're a one-sided messenger.
Yeah, true. But that doesn't mean I'm not right.
Well, quite often you're not.
All right,
so-
let's see if look. Who would you have signed, right? Who did other people?
I really
tell
don't
me
know.
Who
I really don't know who you
in
would
the
have
rest
signed.
of the league signed brilliant players. When you say, "Oh, Bournemouth signed
No,
someone on the last," there you go. Yeah, who?
Yeah, I think
Anyone of the?
I
Tell
think
me 8
FFP has. I think, and I'll tell you what's happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
that it possibly
The
the best
Everton
thing
thing.
that
Yeah.
may have happened to football is the 10-point penalty to Everton, and then the extra charges now levied against Everton again
Yeah.
for different
Yeah.
and against Nottingham Forest. You know,
I guess if you look, and I asked someone else this, you tell me one player that anyone else has signed in the January transfer window that we should have signed. You go, do you know what? That player would have fitted right into our team.
I can't tell you anyone who moved and got moved to another club for that reason, but I could imagine if we were financially able to make a transaction and buy a player, we could have probably got a player more suited to what we needed than
I
Calvin
just felt
Phillips.
they weren't. No,
I just
agreed.
don't-
Agreed.
I-
It was a strange one.
I
but
don't
we know
understand the
Moyes
Calvin
wanted
Phillips buy.
it. Maybe it was to please the.
For the rest of the season.
It was to-
For what reason?
I
don't-
think it's a player that he look. If people remember, yeah, he was part of the napkin offer. Yeah,
Yeah.
Moyes wanted him when he was at Leeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and old Angus came to dinner and
Yeah.
Brady shoved the napkin under his and said,
Yeah, I
"How much?"
remember.
Yeah, so that was for Phillips, and we all laughed.
Yeah,
so
as if, we all went, oh, yeah.
He
as if-
admitted it, hasn't
Yeah.
he? He's now admitted
But,
it and said,
that-
"I nearly
yeah.
came to West Ham before City came for me."
So it's quite possible. And the way I see it is Calvin Phillips, 3-4 years ago, was playing for England in front of Declan Rice at times. He won Player of the Year for England when Declan Rice was next to him.
Yeah.
Calvin Phillips is an outstanding footballer.
He's
and
a great player,
and would
yeah.
grace this
Well-
club. And what I'm hoping is that this is a try before you buy, and that we end up signing him. 'Cause
Well-
I think he'll be a great addition to our midfield next season. And
I hope you're right. but-
and to be fair, just imagine, yeah, I think it would be good if, say, Souček was dropped, but we still got Souček at the club.
Souček was
not
what?
Sell him. Say he was dropped, yeah, and you had because you had Phillips and Alvarez in the middle, but then you got Souček to come on for the last half hour, because if we want to become a club that's constantly challenging for a top 6 spot, 2 things have got to happen. 1, we need to buy better players, and 2, we've got to pay them the type of money that we're paying Phillips. You can't sit there and complain about the wages Phillips and Danny Ings are on. When, well, not so much Danny Ings, but Danny Ings was on a lot of money because he's been at Liverpool and he's been at Aston Villa. But you have to pay the money to get these players to come and play for West Ham. That's what has to happen. Some way, and that's why I've always believed it'll be so difficult because of financial fair play. It will be difficult for the likes of West Ham and whatever to gate crash. We've got a fantastic 11, one that probably could finish 6th or 5th
Yeah.
if the planets were aligned, but you'd need all 11 to be fit every game. Don't happen.
The only way you could is by clever scouting and clever buying, innit? That's basically
Yeah.
it as
I
well.
mean,
Yeah.
we didn't talk
Which
about.
we haven't
I'm
done.
not sure
We
Villa
haven't
have
done
done.
historically.
Or you get a manager in like Unai Emery that has the ability to make half decent
Improvement.
players
Yeah,
even
improvements
better.
in your
The one
players.
thing I will agree with people. Moyes has improved certain players by just changing where they play. I don't think tactically, yeah, he improves players. I don't think he does.
I think the way the Fornals and the Ben Ramas and that he's turned them the other way. I think they've turned against him.
Nah, I don't. Well, that more shame. I don't think Fornals went against him or whatever. I don't think Ben Rama. I just think they weren't up to it.
I think he lost them.
But hold up, he's gone to Betis and Leon. Yeah, they're not. If these players are so great, that these are players that we've got to have on our bench to come on and help propel us into the top 6.
Oh,
Why
no,
ain't they gone
not. They're not. They're not. I'm not
people on
bemoaning
Twitter,
losing them.
There are people on Twitter that go, well, when the top 6 clubs are looking for a new manager, why ain't David Moyes' name ever in the frame? Well, all right, then if the players that you're so hamstrung to, that are walking out on West Ham because Moyes has treated them so badly, why ain't a top 6 player like team looking at buying them? There's a reason for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Not up to it.
But from the point of view of trying to keep a season going and whatever, the way if you've got these players, you do try and keep them on board, keep them feeling part of.
I'd agree with you if when Ben Rama, not so much Fornals because I make you right, but I think Fornals, because he weren't signing a new deal, because of them and everything, it was like we need to take the deal now. Ben Rama, it was different. He had years left on his contract. If we wanted him, we didn't have to sell him. But he's shown for me no effort.
He was no good.
You know,
I never liked.
I think years ago I called him a Poundland Aaron Lennon. Because Aaron Lennon weren't, had all the tricks in the book, couldn't put the ball in the box.
Hit the corner flag. And I've said that since the day he signed. I've never.
The only downside is if we go into Europe and we've got a penalty shootout, we could have done with Ben Rama.
Yeah.
Because he could score a penalty.
Well, James Ward-Prowse is good to sign.
Yeah, but you need 5 of them, Sean, in a penalty shootout, not just one.
True.
Anyway,
let's talk about.
If he gets fully out fit and running, Phillips, and you can get a system going where Alvarez and Phillips pivot and they cover these places, and we can get more of attacking base running forward, it would be brilliant. But whether he will do that or not, if he allows Ward-Prowse to play more forward and.
Well, funny enough, this season our problem ain't scoring goals. Yeah. Our problem's conceding them. And that is, because when I did a thing the other day, I don't know if you see it on Twitter, someone said something, I went back and looked, since we got promoted under Allardyce, how many goals have we scored after 22 games in every Premier League season? And Moyes has 3 of the top 4.
We're going to come on to Moyes, and that's our next subject to close this episode of the podcast down. Just to say, senior source said about Calvin Phillips, the reason we don't have an option to buy is at the current wages, we could not afford him. So if we'd had an option to buy, it would have been at the current wages. With his base plus his appearance bonuses, everything, it works out about 165, 175. It would make him the highest players. It would put all the other players out at joint. But if we negotiate at the end of the season with him separately, we can negotiate a lower wage, and that's one of the reasons we don't have a.
But there's always ways, isn't there, on that?
Of course there is, but the player has to not be paid. You've got a wage limit. The same as Spurs, John. You can't be paying.
No, I know. I'm not saying
175 grand. I say that.
But all right then. But I'll tell you what I say then. But what I would say to that then is, the club. All right, fair enough. The club need to tell the fans that. Yeah, so we can understand that actually we're going to struggle to compete to get into the top 6 and stay there. Because to do that, you got to pay players 100-odd grand, 150 to 175 grand.
You say that, but Spurs don't. Now you could say they're not in. They're not.
What you saying? Son ain't on 150 grand a week?
No,
apparently
not.
Apparently not. So then. Because you don't know.
I don't. We don't know. We don't know any of them, do we? Really, unless we get to see the contracts. But
you seem to know what West Ham players earn, Sean.
Yeah, I do. Well, that's different, isn't it?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If you think the Tottenham players are finishing top 5, 6 regular every year, players like Son and that ain't on. Yeah. Big coin.
He is supposed to be. By the way, he is supposed to be his highest paid at 190 grand a week. Yeah. I was always told.
So bearing in mind, what was Harry Kane on?
I thought he was on a lot less, actually.
Fucking hell.
I mean,
Sean.
some of the stories say he's on £197 a week. That is Son. Now, one thing you may hate Spurs, but Kieran Maguire always says best run club. They had a
Yeah, but,
wage structure which they never broke. Now maybe they've changed that now.
yeah, but
Harry
Sean,
Kane was on. Oh no, they said Harry Kane was on 200 grand.
right.
Song, Percy Romero, 165 grand.
Percy Romero.
Christian Romero.
Oh, right.
Was 165 grand. So,
But
maybe
yeah,
it's
but
changed.
hold up, Sean. With all them wages are more than what West Ham pay. See, but where West Ham was saying, well, we're not sure if we can afford Phillips 150 grand. Yeah, but here you've already said Spurs
Ah.
have already got 3 or 4 players over that amount. If
Yeah, but
you
here's the
want to
problem.
challenge those teams, you've got to get the players in
right?
and pay
If
the
we
money.
want to stay in Europe,
There you
right?
go then,
Here
yeah.
we go. Right, next year, right,
Yeah.
70% of your turnover, transfer fees and wages can be spent.
Yeah.
Right. So for the first time, wage control comes in Europe. It was 80 this year season. 90 last season. It's
So why
70
can
next
right? It
season.
is a loaded question, Sean. How
on.
come Spurs can do it and we can't?
They've got far bigger turnover than us.
And why have they
basically,
got far bigger turnover?
Because they
than us?
control their stadium. There you go. I said
Oh,
it. There you go.
thank
There
you
go.
very much. Whoa!
Hey.
Oh dear!
No,
10
they are-
years,
They are
15
very
years
good.
ago,
Hang on,
someone
hang
said
on.
that.
And they have
Dear,
very,
oh
very expensive season tickets. That's the other reason.
dear. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Well, so
so-
do West Ham, Sean.
Not in comparison.
Not in comparison.
Anyway, let's move on to David
But
Moyes.
I think we can. There's ways of competing if you, like we've already said, don't we? You scout better, you get different
Yeah.
avenues of players coming in, and you get a manager that can
But
improve.
you won't
can get a
you
substantial
won't be there
improvement in the
all the
thing.
time. You will fluctuate. You will go up. You will go down. You have to set the years where you will go
Yeah,
down.
you do.
Leicester did it with
Yeah,
good
look at
scouting
Leicester.
and
Look
everything.
look at all the teams that have been in and out, in and out, in and out.
That's
Yeah.
it. They fell away. Villa are doing it at the moment. Can
do you
they
know
continue to do it? We'll
West
see.
Ham are very well. We borrow our money from Barclays Bank at normal interest rates.
Yeah.
Do you know what? If you've listened to Price of Football this week with Kieran Maguire, Everton can't even get a bank to loan them any money.
Yeah.
The people that borrow off MHD Holdings that we used to borrow and Vibrec and all these other ones, they're now paying 14, 15%. They're the ones who can't borrow money
Yeah,
from anyone
the-
else.
the
And now,
the 3
Everton can't
years in
borrow money
Europe-
for anyone.
Yeah, the 3 years in Europe has possibly changed the structure of the club
Yeah.
and the way it can operate, and that maybe the benefits will be felt in another 3-4
Yeah,
years'
no,
time
agree.
from that.
Yeah. Anyway,
Good
let's
for
move-
business, David
Yeah,
Moyes.
let's
Good
move
for
on
business.
let's move on to David
Exactly
Moyes.
that.
So David Moyes, obviously, a lot of people who don't like David Moyes are using the loss and the draws as a reason. Obviously, reports came out, and this started with David Moyes saying, basically, I'm gonna in early February when the transfer window closed, I'm gonna sit down and conclude a new contract.
Sean, I think
with
it
West
started
Ham.
before that with certain people.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
look,
Having
saying
bets
we're
and
going to get a
things.
new contract by
And-
the end of January.
yeah. Well, no, we didn't say that. We said he's
Oh,
going to
did you
sit
not?
down.
Oh,
And he has sat down because he basically said, look, we're quite far along, so obviously contracts and term, etc. But they haven't concluded. But they expect to conclude in the next few weeks. And I think I've said before, I've spoken to people in the board, more than one, and they like David Moyes. I've spoken to other people who know David Moyes, who say David Moyes likes us and he wants to stay. And as we know, our good friend, you're the minds, Nigel.
Can I
spoke
just
to
point out?
Kenny,
Yeah,
Kenny, who also said he
can I
likes me.
point out,
Right.
Moose? Yeah, I love the way you take these people who say hello to you, and all of a sudden they're your friend.
Oh, Paul is a good friend. We talk
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, of course you do.
You don't think we do then?
Well, you think I don't know what goes on?
Yeah, of course you do.
Oh,
Well, but you don't think we talk. Anyway,
didn't say that, did
anywho,
I?
I believe I've had a bet with Nick, as you know, £100 bet. I stick by that. I think look, it's the inevitable. I think
What
it's
is the
going to
bet?
happen. The £100. If he stays next season, I win and I get to choose a charity, and Nick pays £100 to charity of my choice. If he doesn't, if he leaves at the end of summer and is not appointed, then he wins and he chooses charity and I pay £100 to charity. Now, I strongly believe nothing has changed. I've spoken to the powers that be, and they haven't changed. And we'll talk about the research you've done. But I was asked, and look, before anyone says it, I was not asked by Sullivan to do a poll yesterday. I was asked by QE to do a poll because he doesn't want to renew his season ticket, and he said a lot of people on his Facebook group said they're going to vote. Now, I was a bit sceptical about this. You know, John and myself, we used to remember Andy, John. Every year when we were season ticket holder at the bowling grounds, Andy the fireman.
Fireman Andy, yeah.
That's it. I'm not renewing next year. That's it. That's me done. I'm not renewing. Every year he renewed, and it became a bit of a joke. And the problem is, on average, between 88% and 95% renew each year. The average in the Premier League is 90%, and people are full of shit and say, "Oh, I'm not renewing." But in reality, the football, the manager, the owners have nothing to do in the patterns of people renewing. People don't, loyal supporters do not really vote for their feet. Right? And I say the word loyal, John. And I'm not
fucking hell, John.
Oh,
Mate, don't
God.
take that,
saying,
son. He's right digging you out.
I'm just saying,
What's a punch?
Casual supporters who might try it for a year or, you know, people. What are you going to do on a Saturday or a Sunday at 2 o'clock?
That's another dig, John. He's digging out your non-league team there. Who are you going to watch? Yeah.
Sunday, you've got to start saying what you're going to do on a Sunday at 2 o'clock.
What are you going to do? Yeah, I used to say, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Or what are you going to do on a
Go
Saturday
to dinner by the sounds of it.
Saturday at 12:30. What else are you going to do?
I did a poll, right? And we'll move on to Nigel. I did a poll, which I was asked to do, that said, if David Moyes signs a new contract, will you renew your season ticket? And it said season ticket holders only. Now, it was seen by 53,000 people. Only 10% answered it. I've got to trust their season ticket holders. Who knows? So 5,368 people voted over the last 24 hours. It's only just finished. I was surprised. This is on Twitter, X. 43.3% said yes, they were planning. 56.7% said no. I don't believe that for a second. And I've been told by Nick, that's why Nick rang me earlier and said, it's backfired. Yeah, look, people. And he said, Gary, his brother, is not going to renew. And as I said on TalkSport last night, people just don't talk about David Moyes at the ground. It's just not. We talk about it on this podcast. We talk it on social media. It's talked about in the forums. But it's not talked about at the ground. You know, his name's not shouted. They boo the performance. They don't boo the manager. Or am I wrong? Nigel, I want to come to you first. What do you think about this?
No, the one thing the new thing. It's a tough one. I don't think. I think over 90% will renew.
Yep.
I don't think too many people. There may be people that walk away.
How many people renewed under Sam Allardyce, by the way?
That's what I was saying. I think your poll's a waste of time, Sean.
Well, I did it
because you do it on Twitter, and anybody can. You know, you ask for season ticket holders, but you can't verify how many.
Correct.
So it's a total waste of time. Brentford are 1-0 up against Man City. By the way.
Really?
Yeah. They've had one shot. They've had 22% possession.
It was a dodgy-looking goal.
Well, anyway, but they're still 1-0 up.
Cough, John. You've got the cough now.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a cough now. Yeah, but I could try and cover the mic there.
Yeah.
You know, well, I mute when I cough. Not.
So my computer's all the way over there.
But I mean, in regards to renewals, you know, listen. If you hate Moyes ball that much, why put yourself through it? You know, I can understand why.
I do genuinely think there's people that it affects their state of mind.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
All right. Well, let's ask straw poll. Nigel, you renewing?
Well, of course but I've renewed. The thing is, I've renewed under Allardyce, and I never blinked. I never thought twice. I never thought, whatever. You know, because for me, although I was stubborn, it was like, that fucker ain't ever going to stop me watching West Ham. I'll make sure. And in a way, the reason I'm still a season ticket holder today because I always promised myself I'd outlive Gold and Sullivan.
Yeah.
Well, one down. I've still got a bit of time probably for the other one. But anyway,
I know you don't like Moyes, and you haven't been to many games lately for that reason. But if he
No, it hasn't been
fails,
for that reason at
we'll-
all.
I
Sean.
can't tell you, Sean, you're
You're
pushing your luck tonight.
you are such a bellend, honestly.
Are you renewing, or do you?
I haven't really given it any serious amount of thought, Sean. I'll just,
Okay.
I probably
Right,
will.
hold
I
up,
don't
I'll tell
see
you what,
why
I'll
would
throw-
I not? You know,
I'll tell you why. Right,
Go on.
John, right, you ready? And I think it is. John, if you knew that 50% of the games would be Saturday at 3 o'clock, would you renew?
yeah, I'd be. Yeah,
There you
I
go.
agree, yeah.
absolutely.
Done. And I think this is a big problem.
Well,
yeah, the absolute
agree.
fuck-arsing
yeah,
around
I'm bored
with
with
times.
Sunday games.
It's not. Look, it's not for me. The whole thing, this Moyes and all this. It's not even. It's not even Moyes. You know, what I mean, I walked away before because I got it sucked the life out of me out of the stadium. But you know, how many years have we been at the stadium? What's that now? 7 years.
8 years.
8 years now. So
7
8
and a
years. I've come back this year.
Yeah.
8 years. We still were not settled. We still haven't got a routine. There's still no pub. There's still no.
Well,
you
hang
know,
on a
so
minute, John. Hold that full. Number one.
Supporters Club is refusing
Oh.
to fade and die, though, John.
Supporters Club is coming back to
Oh, it's coming back.
the last drop, right? The podium bar.
Yeah.
And-
when?
and the
Sean?
end-
When have they
Soon,
announced
soon,
it to the members? When have they announced it to the members?
Soon.
Oh, so they've
And
told you, but not
it's
told the
the
members.
point. No, they haven't.
No. What? So how do you know it's soon
I
then,
just
Sean?
know people.
Oh right.
Um,
So they must have told people then, and not the fucking members, Sean.
Maybe.
They're a membership club. They
It's still
walk
being
in.
negotiated. They haven't signed a
Ah,
contract
well
yet.
there you go. Then.
And the other thing is, we'll move you upstairs next to Nigel and
yeah, no, I'm
Len.
not. I'd say no. Look, I'm not
So
saying.
you
I'm not.
and Mark and everybody will be together again.
I'm
and
not
you'll be
saying it's. I'm not saying I'm not gonna. What I'm saying is, it's like the old adage was all those years that we went always renewed. We had relegations. We had, you know, the Kirbishley years, the Zola years. We had like the Allardyce years. You know, we've had all these years where I just renewed, and it was
Yeah.
because a game of football would ruin a
and
great
the
day
pub
out.
and everything else. Yeah.
It would
You
ruin a
used
great day out, and a game of football would give you the
Your
ache.
saying was a great day out spoiled by 90 minutes of football.
Yeah.
Look, I just want to move on to one thing before we
But
finish.
no,
now
just-
it's
but
100
just-
minutes, John.
But see, that's the thing now. The way it is now, you know, if you haven't got the good match day experience, the 2 o'clock kickoffs and the 12:30 kickoffs
It'll
and the
come back again.
nowhere to
Don't
go
worry.
and
Don't
all
worry.
this sort of thing,
Don't worry.
and you got shit football. It's not much fun, is it? You know, it's boring. It's
John,
rubbish.
don't worry. Next year, when we're not in Europe, we can all go
It'll
back
be
to
easy.
normal,
Yeah,
and I'll
yeah.
be a lot happier.
Yeah, well,
Final thing on David Moyes.
I'll take it.
Nigel, you spent a lot of time doing some
I did.
research. Right, get to the punchline. What stats did you look at of who was the best West Ham manager, and what was your final conclusion?
All
Please
right.
don't talk us through the 7,000 words you wrote.
No. So, in a nutshell, I wanted to see if there was a sign or I don't know the best way. It's a way of coming up with a formula
Yeah.
to say, right, who is the greatest manager? What's the way of measuring it? Very quickly,
It's
the
Moyes.
best way. This is league only.
Yeah.
Not cups. I'm doing the cups separately, 3/4 of the way through the cups. Then what happens? You combine the two, and then you say, this is the greatest ever West Ham United manager. But in the league, so I come up with there's 15 managers. Out of the 17 managers we've had, 15 have managed as top flight. Compare their records. You've got to even them up, because some managers had 42 games a season, some had 38. So you convert them into percentage-wise. So points per season, averaged out, points per game, times by 38. Goals scored, goals conceded, and you give the worst performer 1 point, you give the best performer 15 points, and so on, every way in between. So that's done from, we've had, I think, 66 seasons of top flight football across the 15 managers. Obviously, some only ever got like a season and a half, like the likes of Pellegrini, 2.5 seasons for Bilic. Zola was a couple of seasons. Kirbishley was like 2 as well. But I put it all on 6'2". I can quickly run you through it now. So
Please
basically,
don't. Just give us
no.
highlights.
So the highlights are, so basically, obviously, statistically speaking, the worst manager was Avram Grant.
Surprise.
Yeah, funny enough, Avram did top score though, with the maximum points for draws. Statistically speaking, he averaged more draws a season than any other West Ham manager. But he also came bottom in wins and losses. So he lost more games than any other West Ham manager and won the least amount of games. And also averaged the lowest points ever in a season and was in the bottom 3 for goals scored and goals conceded. So it was generally going to be worst. Some surprises in there. Pellegrini came third from bottom. John Lyall became mid-table. The top 3 were Bilic, Redknapp, and then you could say by a clear decisive points.
Listen, Nick,
Bilic,
listen.
So top 3 were Bilic on 62 points, Redknapp on 66, and the top was David Moyes, 71 points.
Get in.
Moyes has got the second best win percentage record behind Ted Fenton. He's also got the best average points per season. His average goals per season.
Yeah?
He's got the highest average goals per season.
So
And this is the thing where I come with it. So what? And I tweeted out yesterday. How do you qualify entertainment? Is it goal scoring or the way we play? But when there's goal scoring, David Moyes got 12 points. So there was 3 managers above him on average goals per season, and those 3 managers were Ron Greenwood, Sid King, and Ted Fenton. So David Moyes has got the highest goals per game ratio of any manager that manages in the Premier League area.
where did Pardew sit in all that?
Pardew sits second from bottom.
Does he really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, he did well for
I
wins.
enjoyed Pardew's time.
Me too.
Pardew, the thing about Pardew is he had 1 full season in the Premier League. So this is Premier League stats only.
You're right. Yeah.
So he had 1 good season, and then he only lasted till the first week of December in the second season, on where we'd lost.
We just remember winning lots of games because we were in the Championship.
Yeah,
I just remember him having I just remember him
Obviously,
against Tottenham. I remember him against Arsenal. I remember him having a
but that
row
was
with
that
Wenger
one season. That
and all
one
that.
season, he
Yeah.
did.
But we used to have a go, didn't we? He had a real go at these teams. And we'd just come out of the Championship.
You know, people look at Glenn Roeder. I mean, Glenn Roeder came 2 points behind John Lyall. He was like an average manager. And when you look on the face of it, you know, Roeder scored, I think, 55, 56 points in his first season, 42 in his second. As a points tally together, that's not bad for 2 seasons.
Oh,
compared
Nigel,
to
have
some
you
of the
already
others.
posted something on the Facebook group?
Yes.
Okay,
So-
I'll delete mine.
Yeah. So, you know, it's Roeder, but the problem with Roeder, I think, would have stayed up. You know, the likes of Zola never got relegated, you know, and he scored 8 more points than Zola.
Oh,
So people look at Roeder, and because he relegated us with possibly the best team we've ever had to go down, you know, people look at that and go, whoa, you know, and it's, you know.
Anyway, anywho, we're going to
But
have
David
anyway,
Moyes is.
We've
and this
got
is the thing.
22 questions
Yeah.
waiting for us, and I've got
David
to pick up my
Moyes is
stepdaughter
the.
who's coming back
Well,
from Spain
she'll have to
tomorrow.
wait then, won't she?
Well,
So,
she's coming back from.
Oh well. Well, she's been away, hasn't she? Another hour won't hurt.
She's going to be waiting on the school from the bus on her own.
Oh, well, she
coming
will
back
tell the
from
bus to drop her off. Fuck's sake, Sean.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. It's not
Does it
private
not?
school.
Well, tell her mum to pick her up.
Anywho,
The little laugh there.
Yeah,
we're
it's
gonna
that Godly and Cream song. Do you remember it, John? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Don't wanna
finish this
be
episode.
under your thumb
Forever.
forever.
John, prediction.
Yes.
Arsenal at home.
I reckon we're going to lose 3-0.
Nigel.
Surprise, surprise. I'm going to go for a draw, 2-2.
2-2. I'm going to go for 1-0 win, a surprise. Because I think, in Moyes we trust, really. And I do think that, after a bit...
And I think it
suddenly
says something
come
an
up.
awful lot about the owners, and they've thought that the job that I did do with my staff was good enough to give me another opportunity. And this time I'm going to make it where there's no choice, that they would always be wanting to renew in the future. Well, I'd say that what MD's getting here with me is a very experienced Premier League manager.
So I'd like to,
There's only 2 or 3
what
who've
I'd
got
like
more
to talk about,
experience,
Sean, is not what
games
he's
in the
saying.
Premier League.
I thought we were in a hurry.
Yeah. But you know
Anyway.
what I'm point? This is what he said when he took over.
Yeah,
and
we know what he
years
said
ago-
because you don't stop fucking playing it.
Yeah.
Sean.
Anyway.
That's what I do. I win.
I
just
win.
like,
He's not at the moment.
it's
Anyway,
Well,
Crack
everyone can just see it's boring, but he's doing well. So there you go.
John, it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
No.
Go on. What?
I'm going now because I've got a cough and a cold. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave
John's
you to
going, and we're on another episode.
Can you please promote my daughter's gig at the
Yeah,
O2
will. So
Islington?
we'll promote the Rosanna's gig at the on episode 32, which is coming up for
On the
question
30th of March, O2 Islington.
There you go.
See you there.
Any
will,
comps, John? Any comps?
He comes.
Any
No,
comps?
pay you
About
hell.
13 quid a ticket. Come on,
Oh,
let's
yeah,
all
come
splash
on.
out.
Special deal.
Give me some comps. I can stand outside, sell them, and we'll split the money.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Goodbye for me. Goodbye, Sean. John has been,
I've just been here trying not to cough too much.
and Nigel has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, you irons.
Oh, you irons.
Bye.
Bobby Moore, more than just a podcast. Bobby Moore, more than just a podcast.